Welcome to the deep dive. So if you're running, say, a modern beauty salon, maybe a hair clinic, or even a skin treatment center, you probably know the feeling. Your job feels less like, artistry and more like, well, like trying to run air traffic control.
Yeah, it's that constant juggling act, isn't it?
Totally. You've got staff schedules, appointments that just cannot overlap, tracking every penny, and the big one, figuring out commissions for your specialists, like down to the last real without losing days to spreadsheets. It's just chaos.
Right.
Especially if your systems don't talk to each other.
Right, and that chaos, that fragmentation, that's exactly what Salonyar is built to fix. So today we're doing a really deep dive into this management system.
Okay.
We've got a pile of source material here, functional specs, marketing stuff, even screenshots of the dashboards. Our mission really is to pull all this together and see what it actually means for a beauty business owner today. How does it change the game for managing operations and using data?
Okay, let's jump right in. I think we need to start with the basic idea behind it, the philosophy, because that tells you a lot. Let's talk integration first, and then maybe that commercial model, which sounds pretty different.
Absolutely. So the core idea, the sources call the all-in-one mandate, is that Salonyar has to handle, well, everything. Appointments, accounting, staff management schedules, commissions, the logi, and analytics.
Right.
All in one place.
Right, to stop that fragmentation you mentioned.
Exactly. It's designed specifically to kill that problem where, your appointment book doesn't match your sales records, which don't match your payroll.
Yeah, that's like the silent profit killer, right?
Yeah.
If your booking app, your billing software, and your commission Excel sheet are all separate islands, nothing ever lines up. What happens in the chair is disconnected from when the money actually lands.
Precisely. And the payoff for integrating everything is huge. You get real-time reporting, accuracy. The moment someone marks a service is done, bang. The system logs the customer, the cost, the tax, how they paid, and it instantly calculates the specialist's commission. One entry updates everything. Finance, analytics, all at once.
No delays, no double checking, no typos from entering it twice.
None of that. It just flows.
That flow is key for efficiency, definitely. But let's talk about how you actually buy this thing, because it's not the usual subscription model, is it? This self-hosted approach.
No, it's quite different. The sources really emphasize this isn't your typical size, software as a service. Yes, you access it online, so you could call it cloud-based in that sense.
But the payment is different.
Totally different. It's a one-time purchase. The price seems to be somewhere between, say, $267 and $350 based on the materials. And that gets you a permanent license. You own it.
Okay, hang on. You buy it once, it's yours forever, no more monthly fees. That sounds amazing. What's the catch? There's always a trade-off, right? Control versus convenience.
That's exactly the calculation. The trade-off is you install it on your own hosting, your own domain. So yeah, you've got to manage that minimal hosting upkeep.
Okay.
But in return, two big wins. First, like you said, you own the license forever. You're off the sauce treadmill. What was a recurring operational cost becomes a one-time capital investment.
Let's put numbers on that. Say a similar cloud service is, I don't know, $50 a month. That's $600 a year. If I buy Salonyar for $350, I break even in, 7 or 8 months?
Roughly, yeah.
And after 5 years, I've saved almost $3,000 compared to subscribing, and I still own the software. That's a big deal for a small business.
It fundamentally changes the economics long term. And the second win is data control. You keep your customer data, your financial data on your hosting. A lot of business owners really value that data sovereignty.
Right, keeping control. Okay, so beyond the money part, for this to actually work in its target market, it needs to fit in, right? Culturally, linguistically. This RTL support and Shamsi calendar thing seems critical.
Oh, it's non-negotiable. If the software doesn't speak the user's language, literally, and understand their calendar, it's basically useless for day-to-day work and official records. So Salonyar has full Persian language support, right-to-left interface.
And that's not just changing the text, is it? It's about how things are laid out, how you enter data.
Exactly. It has to feel natural. And the calendar, well, trying to run a business on the Jalali calendar, the Shamsi calendar, using software built for the Gregorian calendar, it's a nightmare.
Constant conversions, errors in reports, payroll dates, all wrong.
Everything. Calculating monthly trends, comparing year on year. It all breaks down without native Shamsi support.
Yeah.
So having that built in is just fundamental for accuracy.
Makes sense. It's like trying to use an audio textbook in the wrong language. Completely defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
What's under the hood making this work? The tech stack.
It's built on pretty standard, robust stuff.
Yeah.
PHT 8 or newer, MySQL 5.7 plus, JavaScript on the front end.
Yay.
And they're using libraries like chart.js for the graphs and data tables for organizing the lists you see. MySQL is key for handling the structured data reliably, especially complex things like Shamsi dates.
And the JavaScript makes the dashboards look good and update live.
Right. It drives those dynamic visual elements that let a manager see what's happening at a glance. It's a modern setup, but focused specifically on supporting those crucial local requirements.
Okay, foundation set. Let's get into the nuts and bolts. Running the salon day to day, starting with the service catalog. This is where you define what you actually sell.
Right.
And how much it costs.
Exactly. Think of it as the blueprint for your business operations and finances. Managers go in here and define every single service. We saw some good examples in the sources.
Like what?
Like a short haircut.
Yeah.
Price, $500,000 or a while. And crucially, it notes the duration, 20 minutes. Then maybe something more complex, a chignon, price much higher at 2.5 million RAL, probably takes longer too.
And this isn't just a price list, is it? This is where the integration starts to really kick in, linking it to staff pay.
That's the magic. That's the efficiency gain.
Yeah.
When you define that service, you also set the commission percentage for the specialist who performs it.
Ah, okay.
And it's not one size fits all. It's per service. The data showed different rates being used, 60%, 65%, even 70% on some services.
Right.
Setting that here means the system knows the variable cost from the get-go, and it completely automates calculating the pay later. Big time saver.
Okay, service is defined. Next big resource, time. How does the time slot management work? How does it keep things organized?
Yeah, managing time slots is all about preventing the biggest headache, double bookings or scheduling conflicts. The manager defines all the available slots. They can mark them as, reserved, free, or blocked, maybe for a lunch break or cleaning time.
Standard stuff. But you mentioned automatic generation.
Yeah, this is where it gets smarter. Instead of the manager manually mapping out every single 20-minute slot for haircuts, the system can build the schedule automatically. It looks at the service durations you set up, like that 20-minute haircut, and it looks at when your staff are scheduled to work, which we'll get to. Then it just populates all the possible booking slots.
For how far ahead?
The sources mentioned it can do it for up to a year, 365 days. For a busy salon, that's huge. No more manually plotting out the calendar week after week. It saves time and stops conflicts before they start.
Okay, so it knows the service needs, say, 20 minutes, and it knows when staff member A is working. That brings us to the staff schedule, controlling the people side.
Absolutely critical. This is your HR command center, basically. The manager defines the work schedule for everyone. Weekly, monthly, shifts, start times, end times, mandatory breaks. It's all defined per staff profile, like for that specialist role mentioned.
And that schedule then feeds directly back into the time slots.
Instantly. If a specialist is scheduled off on Tuesday afternoon, the system knows. It won't offer them as an option for a booking then. It physically prevents the conflict.
So you move from fixing booking mistakes after they happen to just not letting them happen in the first place.
Exactly. It's proactive, not reactive.
Okay. And then tracking the actual bookings themselves, the appointment lifecycle module.
Right. This is what the front desk staff live in day to day. It lets you do everything you need, create new appointments, edit existing ones, view the schedule, delete cancellations. Standard stuff, but done well.
Any smart features there?
The filtering is key for managing the flow. You can quickly pull up appointments by date, by status, like is it booked, is the client here, is it finished, or filter by staff member, or by customer name. Makes finding things fast.
And what about the customer booking online? You mentioned a 4-step process. Seems designed to prevent errors.
Yeah, it looks very structured, probably to minimize confusion. The sources laid it out. Step 1, customer picks the service, say, the haircut, they see the price and duration. Step 2, they pick the staff member they want, if they have a preference, and choose an available date and time from the calendar.
Okay.
Step 3 is a confirmation screen, just check everything looks right. And step 4 is the final submit button.
So it walks them through it, making sure they provide all the info needed.
Right. It ensures the data coming in from the customer is clean from the start, which helps the whole system run smoothly. Okay, so we've scheduled the work. Now let's talk about the money. Salonyar acts as this complete financial engine. It brings together invoicing, payment tracking, and maybe most importantly, that automated commission piece.
Right. Let's start with the official paperwork. The sales reports, the invoicing module. How detailed are the invoices it generates? You mentioned factors.
Yeah, factor seems to be the local term. The system generates really compliant invoices, everything you'd expect. Customer details, the service provided, the total cost, any discounts applied. And this is important for compliance. the tax rate.
Tax rate, like that 10% we saw mentioned.
Exactly. You can set a default tax rate in the settings, and the system just applies it automatically where needed. Keeps your sales reporting consistent and accurate.
Built-in compliance. Nice. And tracking the actual payments coming in, especially in businesses that might still handle a fair bit of cash.
Yeah, the payment management module tracks every rail. You get a clear list view, amount, date, the method they used, cash, card transfer, online payment. Those are mentioned specifically.
Okay.
And the status paid, pending, whatever. This lets a manager see their cash flow clearly. Are they getting too much physical cash? Maybe a security risk? Relying too much on bank transfers? Maybe that delays access to funds. It gives them visibility.
Okay. Visibility is good. But for salon managers, I keep hearing that commission calculation is the absolute bane of their existence. It causes arguments, takes forever. Let's really focus on this automated commission feature. That sounds like a game changer.
It really is. It's probably the single biggest time saver and honestly risk reducer in the whole system. Remember how we set the commission percentage back when we defined the service?
Yeah, like 60% for service A, 70% for service B.
Exactly. Because that's already locked in, the system needs zero extra input for payroll calculations related to commissions. When a service is marked complete and paid for, boom, it instantly calculates the exact amount owed to the specialist.
No manual steps at all.
None. It just does it.
And how transparent is it? We saw that example breakdown in the sources. Staff need to trust the numbers, right?
Absolutely. Trust is key. The system shows a really clear breakdown, right on the transaction level potentially. In that example invoice, you could see the total payment split clearly. Staff share, 2,000 real. Salon share, 3,000 real.
Okay.
It's right there. No mystery math happening in some hidden spreadsheet. The specialist can see exactly how their pay was calculated. That eliminates a huge amount of potential friction.
Yeah, I can see how that would reduce arguments. Yeah. Okay, so that's income and commissions sorted, but true profit means tracking costs too. The expense management module handles that.
Correct. You can't know your real profit without tracking what's going out.
Right.
So the expense module lets managers record all spending. They can set up different expense categories too, things like installations, purchasing, rent, whatever they need for budgeting.
And they just log the details?
Yeah, amount, date, how they paid, and a description.
We saw examples like system upgrade or construction repair. Why is that level of detail useful?
It helps categorize things properly for accounting. An upgrade might be a capital expense you depreciate over time, while repair is just an immediate operating cost. Getting that right means that profit and loss reports the system generates are accurate and useful for, taxes and financial planning.
Right. So the whole financial side moves you from guesswork
to data. Verified data for smart financial decisions. That's the goal.
Okay, so the financial engine gathers all the raw data. The analytics portal is where you turn that data into, actual strategy, right? Starting with the main dashboard, the first thing a manager sees.
Yeah, that admin dashboard is like the cockpit display. It gives you that immediate, at-a-glance health check. It pulls out key numbers, KPIs.
Like what? What did we see?
Things like Purdue customers this month. Okay, maybe need a marketing push. 6 waiting appointments shows the immediate workload. 3 active services, 1 active staff member, just basic operational status.
So it's more than just a calendar. It gives context. And it uses charts and graphs heavily.
Yes, lots of visuals. Bar charts, line graphs, pie charts. Makes it easy to understand quickly. You can instantly see maybe which services bring in the most money or how payments are split. Like, are we getting mostly cash or is it mostly online transfers?
Seeing that visually could trigger quick decisions, like needing to adjust cash handling procedures.
Exactly. It's about fast comprehension.
Okay, the dashboard is the overview, but the real strategic power comes from the detailed reports, right? The sources said over 30 reports in 7 categories. That sounds like a lot. Let's hit the highlights.
It is comprehensive. It lets managers really dig in. A key one is the staff performance report. This gives you objective data on how each team member is doing.
Not just gut feeling.
Right. It tracks things like the total number of appointments they completed and, crucially, the total commission they earned. We saw that example of one specialist earning 1,150,000 real in commissions.
So that number isn't just for payroll. It's a performance metric.
Absolutely. It's a measure of their productivity, their contribution. It helps managers make informed decisions about raises, promotions, or maybe who needs a bit more training to get their numbers up. It takes the emotion out of performance reviews.
Okay, that's staff. What about figuring out which services are actually making money? The service popularity reports.
Yeah, these are vital for optimizing your offerings. You need to know what's really driving revenue versus what's just taking up time. The system uses pie charts, for example, to show you the revenue share per service.
So you might see a service is really popular, lots of bookings, but it's actually not making much profit.
Exactly. Then you have choices. Raise the price, maybe lower the commission slightly, or see if you can streamline it to take less time. It forces you to think about the efficiency of each service.
Smart. And then tracking overall business trends, the sales and revenue reports, especially with that Shamsi calendar integration.
Right. Being able to accurately filter by date ranges within the Jalali calendar is crucial. The example showed filtering from 148400101 to 148040514 to see the gross income like that 2.4 million really average figure.
So comparing this quarter to last quarter or this year to last year is straightforward, no manual calendar math.
Correct. It makes trend analysis accurate and relevant for the local fiscal year, essential for planning growth.
Okay, and finally, connecting all this back to the most important person, the customer insights reports.
This is where operations and finance data turns into marketing fuel. It helps you understand customer behavior. Who are your most loyal clients? Who spends the most? Whose frequency has dropped off?
How would a manager use that specifically?
Let's say the report flags a group of high-value customers who haven't booked in, say, 90 days. Okay, maybe you create a special offer just for them, send it out via email or SMS through the system potentially.
So targeted marketing, not just blasting everyone.
Exactly. You shift from generic ads to focused campaigns based on actual customer data. That's how you move from just guessing or relying on intuition to making really data-driven decisions about how to grow the business.
Right, data-driven. But since this is self-hosted, the owner is responsible for that data, which means security and stability have to be absolutely solid. First line of defense seems to be role-based access control.
Yeah, you absolutely have to control who sees what, especially with financial and customer data. Salonyar uses defined roles with specific permissions. You've got the admin, who sees everything, the specialist or service provider, who sees their schedule, their commissions, but not the salon's overall finances, and the customer, who just sees their own appointment history and booking options.
And these roles get different dashboards, different views of the system.
Exactly. The admin gets that comprehensive overview we talked about. The specialist gets a dashboard focused purely on their work. The customer gets a simple portal for managing their bookings. It keeps things focused for each user and, importantly, limits who can access sensitive data, reduces internal risks.
Makes sense. And protecting the data itself, the actual records, as the backup manager's job.
Correct. Business continuity is vital. So the system has features for that. Managers can trigger a manual backup anytime, maybe before a big update, just one click.
Okay.
But crucially, it also does automated scheduled backups. The example showed setting it for 3:00 a.m. daily. So there's always a recent safety copy made automatically without interrupting the workday.
And technically, how is the data secured on the server from outside threats?
They seem to follow standard good practices. Data encryption for sensitive info. We already mentioned role-based access. They also use techniques to prevent common web attacks, things like prepared statements against SQL injection, strong BCRYPT hashing for passwords, and CSRF protection. Pretty standard but essential security layers for a web app handling business data.
Okay, robust security. Lastly, how does a manager customize the system for their specific salon? Staff profiles and system settings.
Right. The staff profiles let you store quite a bit of detail, job title, maybe a short bio for the booking page, work history, and importantly, optional bank info.
To make paying those commissions easier.
Exactly. Having the bank details right there streamlines payroll.
And the main system settings, that's the control panel for the whole setup.
Pretty much. That's where you set the global stuff. Your salon's name, address, contact phone number, like that 0935 example.
Yeah.
Upload your logo for branding. And critically, set those system-wide financial defaults like the tax rate. That ensures everything the system outputs, from invoices to reports, reflects your specific business rules. #outro.
Wow. Okay. That was a really thorough deep dive into Salonyar. Let's try and boil it down. What are the absolute key takeaways for a salon owner listening to this?
I think the main thing is how comprehensive it is, especially combined with that deep localization. It tackles that huge fragmentation problem head on by being truly all-in-one scheduling, finance, HR, analytics.
Right.
It automates arguably the trickiest part, commissions saving time and reducing conflict. And it gives you serious analytical power with all those reports, all working natively with the Shamsi calendar and Persian language.
So for you, the listener, what this really shows is that even in a very hands-on, service-based industry like beauty, success comes down to the same core business principles. Getting control of your data, driving efficiency through automation, and integrating your systems. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it, right?
Couldn't have said it better myself. And that ties into our starting point and maybe a final thought for you to chew on.
Okay.
Since this system uses that one-time purchase model, that self-hosted approach, you essentially buy it as an asset, not rent it as a service. So the question becomes, how do you factor that long-term financial advantage of perpetual ownership compared to paying a subscription fee month after month, year after year into your overall tech investment strategy?
Thinking about it not just as software, but as a long-term business asset that keeps paying back in efficiency.
Exactly. Something to think about beyond just the features list. How does that ownership model change the economics over, say, 10 years?